the richest women in the world. Number 10. Zhuang Huiyan and Yang Huiyan. This top starts strong because there's a tie. The Chinese women Zhang Huiyan and Yang Huiyan have a net worth of $23.5 billion each. But although they have the same amount, their way of getting rich is completely opposite. Yang Huiyan is the daughter of wealthy businessman Yang Guoqiang, founder of the real estate company Country Garden Holdings, who transferred 70% of his company's shares to his daughter in 2007. Yang Huiyan is now the company's vice chairwoman. Instead, Zhang Huiyan was a high school chemistry teacher who decided to found Hansoh Pharmaceutical in 1995, a company that produces oncology, anti-diabetic, and psychoactive drugs. Her company's initial public offering made her one of the world's richest women in 2019. And she's currently married to Sun Pyoyang, a pharmaceutical billionaire who runs Jiangsu Hungary Medicine. Number 9. Gina Rinehart. Australian Gina Rinehart is the current chairwoman of Hancock Prospecting, a mineral exploration and extraction company founded by her father, Lang Hancock. When he died in 1992, and she succeeded him as chairwoman, the company was in a dire situation. Its wealth was only $56 million, which didn't account for debts and liabilities that threatened to bankrupt her. However, Rinehart managed to pull it through and became the owner of large mines like Roy Hill. With the profits, she ventured into other businesses, bought the media company 10 Network Holdings, and owned several cattle farms, making her the largest cattle producer in her country, which is just over 1% of Australia's landmass. Currently, her fortune amounts to $23.6 billion. Number 8. Abigail Johnson. Abigail Johnson is the granddaughter of the late Edward C. Johnson II, founder of Fidelity Investments, a retirement fund and asset management company. She became the company's CEO in 2014 and the chairwoman by 2016. In 2018, she had the company start selling its own cryptocurrency. Abigail Johnson currently owns 24.5% of Fidelity Investments' stake, and her net worth is $26.3 billion. Number 7. Suzanne Klatten. Suzanne Quandt, her maiden name, was born into a powerful German business family accused of collaborating with the Nazis and profiting from the slave labor of prisoners during World War II. Anyhow, upon her father's death, Suzanne inherited 50.1% of the chemical and pharmaceutical manufacturing company Altana. Once in the lead, she helped turn it into a world-class corporation and now owns the whole company. In 2007, she earned $2.7 billion in profits from Altana. Her father also left her a 12.5% stake in the automaker company BMW. And if you add her brother's and mother's shares, together they own 47% of BMW. She currently has a net worth of $27.7 billion. Number 6. Miriam Adelson. Miriam Farbstein, as she was called when she was single, was born in Tel Aviv and studied medicine in Israel. After divorcing her first husband, she met and married Sheldon Adelson, a wealthy casino businessman. Together, they founded a clinic in Las Vegas specializing in drug addiction treatment. Sheldon Adelson died in January 2021, so Miriam now owns more than half of his company, Las Vegas Sands, which is worth $48 billion, and has casinos not only in Las Vegas, but also in Singapore and Macau. Adelson's entire net worth is $38.2 billion. Number 5. Jacqueline Mars. Jacqueline Mars is the daughter of Forrest Mars and granddaughter of Frank C. Mars, who founded Mars Incorporated, the world's largest candy maker. It's the one that produces M&M's, Snickers, and even pet food like Pedigree and Whiskas. Jacqueline worked for the company for 20 years and was a member of the board of directors until 2016. She currently holds 1/3 of the company's stake. and other family members own the other 2/3. Jacqueline Mars also serves on the board of directors of the Smithsonian Institution. She has a total net worth of $46.9 billion. Despite her wealth, she likes to keep a low profile. However, she couldn't avoid being under the spotlight due to a car accident in 2013, when her vehicle left her lane and struck a minivan. As a result of the unfortunate event, one person died and another suffered a miscarriage. Number 4. Mackenzie Scott. Mackenzie Scott was in the media spotlight when she starred in the most expensive divorce in history, for which she got a quarter of Amazon shares owned by Jeff Bezos. You might think her only achievement is her divorce, but that's not true. Scott started Amazon along with Bezos. She was one of the first employees of the company, working on the company's name, business plan, accounts, and first shipping orders. She began to devote herself to her family only after it took off. Today, Mackenzie Scott owns $56.4 billion. For a few days in 2020, she was the richest woman in the world. But she stopped being so after donating millions of dollars to many NGOs dedicated to charitable causes. That year, she donated $5.8 billion, one of the largest annual contributions made by a private individual. Number 3. Julia Flesher Cook. Julia Flesher Cook is the world's richest widow. She was born in Iowa and worked as a model and designer assistant. Among her most important clients was former First Lady Nancy Reagan. Working in the fashion world allowed her to gain access to New York's upper-class circles, an environment in which she moved like a fish in water. In 1991, she met her late husband David Cook on a blind date. Although he didn't leave her with a good impression at first, months later they went out again when they met at a party. After 5 years, they got married in one of David's mansions, who, as a minor detail, was a big oil tycoon and co-founder of Cook Industries. Julia helped her millionaire husband take an interest in art and organized his social calendar. During their married years, the tycoon donated $10 million to Mount Sinai Medical Center Hospital and another $10 million to Stanford Children's Hospital to study food allergies. When she became a widow in 2019, Julia inherited 42% of Cook Industries, and her wealth currently stands at $60.2 billion. Number 2. Alice Walton. The vast majority of this list is made up of widows or heiresses, and Alice Walton is no exception. She's the heiress to Walmart founder Sam Walton, which has made her a massive fortune of $68 billion. But even though most of her fortune has been inherited, it doesn't mean she has no talent for business. Early in her career, she was an equity analyst and money manager for First Commerce Corporation. She also founded her own investment bank, Llama Company, in 1988. Alice Walton has 2 great passions: raising horses and works of art. She has a collection valued at no less than $500 million. In 2011, she opened her own museum, the Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art, which exhibits works by major artists such as Andy Warhol, Norman Rockwell, and Mark Rothko. Number 1. Françoise Bettencourt Meyers. Frenchwoman Françoise Bettencourt Meyers is the richest woman in the world. She's the granddaughter of Eugene Schuler, founder of the cosmetics manufacturing company L'Oreal. This company has had her as one of its board members since 1997. Françoise became the richest woman in the world in 2017, when her mother, who was the richest woman in the world until then, passed away and left her the shares of L'Oreal as an inheritance. Currently, her net worth is $89.1 billion. She also chairs the Bettencourt Schuler Family Foundation, through which she supports charitable works, scientific research, and artistic endeavors. She has donated money to organizations that help autistic children, and in 2019, she donated $226 million to rebuild the Notre Dame Cathedral, which had suffered a terrible fire. And that concludes this top. I think that's enough millions for now. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content like this and turn on notifications to get the latest videos. See you next time.